And to think that we thought we would never be friends by Mary Ann Hoberman and illustrated by Kevin Hawkes. One day we were playing outside in our yard when my brother got mad and he pushed me so hard that I pushed him right back with all of my might, and quick as a wink, we were having a fight. We thwacked and we whacked and we walloped away, and we still might be fighting to this very day, pinching and punching, my brother and I, if only our sister had not happened by. She was sipping some soda pop out of a cup. She said she would share if we would make up. And since we were thirsty and tired and sore, we each took a drink and we ended our war. It's funny how quickly an argument ends. And to think that we thought we'd never be friends. The night after supper, we turned on TV, but we couldn't agree on what show we would see. I wanted one and my sister another, and both of us hated the choice of our brother. And we probably all would be arguing yet if our dad hadn't come in and turned off the set. So we put on pajamas, curled up on his bed, and we read a wonderful story instead. It's funny how quickly an argument ends, and to think that we thought that we'd never be friends. A day or two later, it wasn't much more. A great big new family moved in right next door. How many were in it, we couldn't quite tell, but they each played an instrument, not very well. One played a tuba and one a bassoon. They practiced all morning and all afternoon. They practiced all evening and all through the night, and they kept us from sleeping, and that wasn't right. So we got out of bed with a hippity hop, and we marched off together to beg them to stop. But when we arrived, there they asked us to play. And they did it so nicely that what could we say? I took a whistle, my sister a flute, and my brother a trumpet that gave a loud toot. My dad took a bugle, my mother a drum, and we all forgot totally why we had come. It's funny how quickly an argument ends, and to think that we thought we'd never be friends. Then all of a sudden, we heard a loud blare as a siren came wailing from out of the air. A police car pulled over the police, and they told us that we were disturbing the peace. And they said if we didn't stop playing that minute, they'd take us to jail and put us all in it. My brother got red and my sister grew pale, and everyone trembled at going to jail. But my mother explained that the noise we had made was because we were practicing for a parade. And she said that the siren had sounded so grand that she hoped they would ride at the head of our band. It's funny how quickly an argument ends. Now, all of the police had turned into our friends. We marched down the street, and each person we passed loudly complained at our ear-splitting blast. They begged us to deaden our deafening din until we invited them all to join in. We offered them boxes and kettles and spoons, and once they were playing, they all changed their tunes. They all were so pleased by the music we made that they became part of our splendid parade. More and more people stepped right into place. More and more people kept up our pace, strutting and striding and stamping their feet, marching in tune to the drums of steady beat. Friends who had squabbled and even stopped talking settled their differences once they were walking, smiled at each other, and marched hand in hand, keeping the beat of our wonderful band. And then we could hardly believe what we saw. Dog and cat enemies marched paw in paw. And then our procession arrived at the zoo. Lions and tigers joined in with us too. It's funny how quickly unfriendliness ends, and to think that we thought they could never be friends. Our music was magic, a magnet to all, as to a Pied Piper that came at its call. And as we kept marching and tooting and drumming, the people kept coming and coming and coming. Hundreds of thousands came running to find us. Thousands and millions fell in right behind us. What a cacophony, what a commotion. Then all of a sudden, we got to the ocean. We came to a place where the whole country ends, with hundreds and thousands and millions of friends. Oh, what could we do now? We started to fret. We couldn't keep marching without getting wet. And just as we all began turning around, we heard a most odd and unusual sound. It wasn't a moan and it wasn't a cry. It wasn't a groan and it wasn't a sigh. It was more like a humming high up the scale. A whisper, a whistle, a whimper, a wail. A whale. No, a whale. Yes, 100 or more, and all of them swimming straight into the shore, singing their whale songs and grinning with glee. So we jumped on their backs and sailed straight out to sea. Sharks swam around us while baring their teeth. Stingrays kept rising from far underneath. But somehow the songs and the music we played convinced them to join in our ocean parade. For music is magic. It soothes and it mends. And to think that we thought
we'd never be friends.
We crossed the wide ocean and washed up on land, where people kept hearing the sound of our band. And even the ones who first came to protest soon were parading along with the rest. And it's hard to believe, but I swear it is true. By the time we were finished and finally through, we'd all gotten back to the place that we first played. The whole world was marching in one big parade. And this is our cheer every year when it ends. Forever and ever we'll always be friends.
Thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed this video.